Hello and welcome to Arsenal Above All. Arsenal still above all, despite what Man City are doing at the moment. Wasn't that lovely on Saturday? A nice, relaxing win. When was the last time we've had something like that? Can't remember, man. I'm so glad I shaved my hair off because, you know, the grey hairs are definitely like sprouting all over the shop, but you just can't see them. So I'm smart like that. Thank you for joining us this Monday bank holiday evening. I've got a great panel with me. I've got Devin who's returned. Devin, how you doing, mate? Good to see you again.
Very well, mate. Got my Arsenal mug to represent. All good, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Great stuff. Great to have you back on again, man. And I've got the most dangerous Arsenal fan alive. He's back. He's been off the grid for a while. Neil Shah, how you doing? I'm
great, thank you. How are you? You good?
Yes, very good, man. Thanks for asking. It's been a special day. So thanks for reaching out, and grateful for your time as always.
Thanks for having me back as well. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. And I've got Steve, the main man. They call me Stepney back. It's been a while. Great to see you back, Steve. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, thank you for having me back on, Mike, and thinking of you today as well. So feeling good, feeling okay. It's been good.
Good stuff. Great to have you back. Great to have you gentlemen back here on the show. So let's get into it. Arsenal, after a tricky trip to Madrid with all the shenanigans that happened, obviously with UEFA trying to make the second leg interesting. It seemed like what they wanted to do. Went into a big game Saturday afternoon, and we basically put on a first half clinic. How long have we all been saying, if only the attack clicked? Because the defense is doing so well, if only the defense clicked or the attack clicked as well as the defense, and we would kind of see what we saw in that first half. And I think that's why you saw that standing ovation at half time. I've not seen that in a long time. I've worked there, luckily to work there a few times, and obviously seeing games on TV. I've not seen a standing ovation like that at half time when the players were coming off. It's an amazing first half performance. So let's get into it as we normally do with the lineup. And obviously the big surprise, Neil, was the inclusion of Myles Lewis-Skelly. Seems like a lot of us kind of know what we're talking about, really, because we've been saying it all season, haven't we? You've got to sit Myles in midfield, and who knows? Who would have thought it? Some Arsenal fans, especially us lot kind of know what we're talking about because we kind of said play this guy in midfield. And look what happened. What did you think of his inclusion and his performance?
If he's done that, I might get my dream of Martinelli playing centre forward, but that can finish it. What a wonderful performance from him. I think, look, for all the, how can you say, praise that the forward lineup got, for me, I think he was the spearhead of the whole thing. He was involved in so much turnovers, interceptions. I mean, even with the first goal, he was instrumental. I just thought he was a breath of fresh air. He looked confident. I think he was first in the statistics of a couple of things. I don't know exactly what they were, but I know he was first, and then ranked second for the other thing. So all the work that he has done in that game on the weekend was just delightful. And we have been saying that he's more of a midfield player. Hopefully he'll get promoted to that. But he just hasn't been given the chance. And it's sad because I think he's lost his position because he got the likes of Calafiore and Hincapié coming in, and he was just never going to get a look in, I think, unless it was, desperate injuries, where we sustained them. It was always going to be a case of he was going to be overlooked. But we always thought, and we've been, as you said, we've been saying for a long time, that he could be really good in the midfield. He could be our answer when we're struggling. Now, the fact that Norgard, for whatever reason, has been completely ignored this season and overlooked again because of Skelly, I'm not saying that was a bad decision. It turned out to be a great decision. But for me, why wasn't he considered before when we so needed to rest more so Zubimendi, who I think has been so overplayed? I think both Rice and Zubimendi have, but it's affected Zubimendi more because he was used to getting winter breaks, wasn't he, where in his previous leagues. So he's been kind of on it all the time. And I think there was some times where we definitely could have had Skelly in, coming in and helping that and just alleviating the pressure a little bit. And it just showed. It just showcased it. He was really confident and comfortable, and he reminded me of the Skelly we saw when he first came on the scene. He came on the scene, and I was so enamored by and wary. I think I remember saying at one point, I thought, God, I think this guy's even better in his position and what he's doing. And I always said, you can't turn into a bad player overnight. What has happened to him? Well, he hasn't. He's proven it on the weekend. I want him to feature more because we've got 5 games left. We're going to win 5 more games, win 2 titles, and we need him there to help us do it. I was just overwhelmed by him.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, what do you think, Devin? What would you think the reason why it took so long for him to have a shot in that position, in midfield, especially when
I think
the club. Yeah, sorry, like the club were running the numbers saying how much Rice and Zubimendi have been, featured. What do you think? What do you think the reason was why it kind of took so long for Arteta to trust him with that?
Honestly, I can't put my finger on exactly why, but what I do know is they are playing with far more data. They're seeing these players week in, week out. They are, football is all about opinions. When you stand on the touchline, you have your opinion matters more than what people in the crowds are saying and seeing, even if you're wrong sometimes. I think perhaps, Zubimendi coming in from Real Sociedad and starting like with hitting the ground running, I think that kind of stole a march on who was going to play in midfield most of the season. We knew that Declan Rice was going to be playing. We knew that, the 10 position was probably going to be Odegaard, bar injury. And as it's proven, so it's been a bit more of a rotated position. Lewis-Skelly was never going to play where Odegaard and Eze end up playing. So that only really leaves the 6 or in Rice's position. So, and then you factor in the Norgard signing, and you do wonder when it comes to Lewis-Skelly in the midfield context, where and how does that fit? But I think what he showed yesterday after finally getting that chance is that there are certain games where in tight spaces, when you need somebody to be strong on the ball, to retain possession, to drive forward, to be brave, to ride a few challenges and take the ball forward. His instinct's always to go forward, isn't it? He's never looking to play a backward safe pass. In the games where that's a possibility versus the opposition. I think Lewis-Skelly is a real asset. Last season it was an absolute revelation being played out of position at left back. Considering our options were basically Zinchenko and Calafiori there. Zinchenko was out of favour. Calafiori's injury record has continued from last season through to this season, so he became the mainstay in that position. I just think to myself, Arteta has looked at him, and you just got to look at that embrace and the words that were said in the press afterwards to say, I'm really thankful to him for the patience. He's done everything right. At times he's been disappointed. He's been left out. He's not featured much at all. He had a role to play in the League Cup. He had a role to play against Southampton. I don't think he played particularly well against Southampton in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. That didn't do him any favours. But in the crunch period where we have to take 3 points, we're at home. You're playing in where you're saying you want to be played. We need to rotate the players that have been played there. We touched on Zubimendi playing way more games than he's ever probably played in the league season. Needing to rotate a bit because we're going to need Zubimendi in the game on Tuesday night, tomorrow night. I just think to myself, Arteta has picked his moment to put him in place, and Lewis-Skelly being a Haylen boy and Arsenal boy has got something to prove. He's been called upon at a really key period in the season, and I feel like he's a kind of personality and character that thrives on being depended upon. I think he really relishes that, and it kicks his game on. He goes into another level of seriousness, and that's what I really liked about him last season. He was just fearless and didn't give the opposition any respect. He was bodying people left, right, and centre last season. And that's what I really love about any young player that comes through. That they're not giving you an ounce of respect. They're going to roll through you like you're nobody, and that's what I really loved about that debut season from him. So for me, my man of the match. You just got to look at the Arsenal Instagram page and all the socials. They're running reels upon reels of all of his best moments yesterday, for which there were many, and many people in his social media space are commenting on that performance yesterday. Obviously Gyokeres got 2 goals and assists, so that'll write the headlines. He takes the man of the match trophy. We'll probably touch on him later, but for me, I'm so pleased that this kid's got his chance because he's deserved it, and we all have a soft spot for homegrown talent, don't we?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when you mentioned Haylen there, that kind of sets off a little bit of a bat signal for Steve, because obviously he's the guy that who anyone that trumpets Haylen, it's Steve. Steve, just before I want you to sort of wax lyrical what Myles has done and what he could provide us for the remainder of the season. This is just something from Opta, just his passes, that he made, the progressive pass. You could see so many of the arrows you probably could make out. That he made. He was absolutely everywhere, and obviously I think you look at the way he worked with Rice as well. I mean, there was a lot of times he was picking the ball up as a 6, and I think these last couple of games, Rice is definitely like having the responsibility of being that 6 again. I think, but having someone like Myles, as Devin said, who is so comfortable with the ball and be able to use his strength, and his skills, obviously, to get out of tight spaces. What were your thoughts on him? And also, just we'll touch on the return to form of the star boy as well. But what was your thoughts on Myles?
I think I messaged you before the game and just said, it was a bit of a risk. I was quite surprised. I thought Norgard would have started, but was disappointed with it. You live and die by your decisions, as Neil rightly said earlier on there, and we have all talked about Lewis-Skelly playing in that central midfield. We were talking about it last season on some of our shows. To say, look, he's a young kid, he's learning his trade at left back, but we all saw him in the centre. We all saw him in the middle because that was his best position. He came in yesterday, and I think for the first time this season, although we've not got our full 11 out, for the first time this season, the balance looks quite right. So on that left-hand side, and we look at the left-back position just very briefly in Calafiori and Henkape. We've got 2 solid players there. That's unbelievable. they both offer something different, and they're both fantastic. So Lewis-Skelly was not going to get much of a play there. So we all assumed, I assumed that he'll get more of a chance in the centre. Thinking that didn't know how games were going to go, but you sort of go, this game's where we're a few goals up, maybe he might get a chance to come on and play in that central role. Hasn't really had those opportunities. I know lots of fans were sort of criticising him, when his performances had dipped, and I was just going, he's an 18, 19-year-old kid, isn't he? We don't need to be putting that sort of pressure on him to perform week in, week out, when we've been through squads before with more senior established players not performing week in, week out. So I was always one that would always say, play the Hale End and give them their chance and let them flourish. If they make a mistake, they make a mistake. They will learn from it, and they will give everything that they possibly can. Your established players that we had, I'm not going to mention any in particular, but your established players who kept making those same mistakes week in, week out, costing us points. And you sort of go, why are we paying these guys 100, 200, 300k a week and they're not doing anything? So give it to the Hale End. Lewis-Skelly came in yesterday. He added that balance. Rice looks more comfortable. He actually looks more free. Yeah, believe it or not, like he looks more free. He was still everywhere, but he didn't have to be.
Yeah.
And then that left-footed player on that left eight, gives that perfect balance to that left-hand side with Calafiori, Trossard. Well, I think Trossard was the one that started up top, and then him, like that. There was better balance there. So, yeah, I would always wax lyrical about the Hale End, and I'll always say give them a chance, and I'll always say play them whenever possible. And it was a big call from Arteta to actually play him, because I was there going, Norgard is the experienced player in this sort of situation. This is the sort of game where it could be a potential banana skin, if you know what I mean. Could be a bit of an edgy one. And I was thinking, Norgard would probably see us through, but Arteta went brave. And I think that bravery was rewarded with everybody else that was there, including the fans that were at the game themselves. And they sort of picked up on that and went, okay, well, he's being brave here. Let's give it a go. And we reaped the benefits from it. That first 45 minutes was by far, in the Premier League, definitely our best 45 minutes of football. Yeah. We were absolutely it could have been more. The goal that was disallowed and everything. Unlucky for Calafiori, he had a few disallowed, but it could have been more. It could have been more. We were absolutely untouchable, and I'm all here for it.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, best performance.
Quickly, just a couple of things, just observations. Nothing on the match really. I love the fact that Norgard went and embraced Myles at the end. That was a lovely touch, considering he's been completely ignored this season. And then he's just showed so much class. He's an absolute consummate professional to go and do that at the end. He was really hugging him and really congratulating him. What a professional he is. His own expense, and then just congratulating the youngster like that. I love that. And the other thing I noticed was you guys must have seen the interview with Myles, and he was speaking so well. I loved his answer when they talked about pressure, and he goes, I see pressure as a privilege because we're privileged to be in this position. What a great answer. So he's also very mature in the way he speaks. I think, Devin, you hit the nail when you talked about, and the pressure's on him. He wants it. The expectation, he rises to it. I think wow. I just think we've got another star in the making here if he's going to be in that position now on a more regular basis.
Yeah, on the back of that, don't you dare entertain any thoughts of selling him. There was rumours of him going to Man United or what have you, or going out on loan. No, you don't even think about it. If it looks like Norgard's going to end up being, shipped out because obviously how his season's gone about, then you've got obviously Myles there as that sort of guy that can come in and compete with Rice and Zubimendi now. You've got absolutely no excuse to sell him. And as you said, Steve, the best attacking performance of the season without those two, the BFFs, there in together watching the game. But they are back in the squad tomorrow, so confirmed by Arteta tonight. So interested to see if they get to start. We'll have our predicted lineups a little bit later, but let's talk. We'll talk about them together, Devin, in regards to Saka and Gyokeres, because obviously we've had the, do they like each other? They're not passing to each other. No one's finding his runs. It all clicked, obviously, on Saturday. After the City game, there was lots of talks about Havertz. He has to play for the rest of the season because he's the one that's going to lead us over the line, and then he ends up getting injured, the next game. We've got to keep this guy fit, because the alternative is Gabriel Jesus and Jesus Christ. What a performance that was when he came on. What's your thoughts on that, Devin, and just his performance and Saka? If Saka comes back and bangs like he did for those 5 hopefully games remaining, that's what we need. That could be the difference.
I think for me, we've got to take a moment to reflect on Gyokeres, right? If we think about his story so far, he came to us in the middle of tour in Hong Kong, I think it was. He hadn't really had a pre-season. This guy came with big notoriety. A lot of people had doubts as to whether he could replicate the form in that he had shown in his record in Portugal in the Premier League. And initially, you have to say that the doubters were right. I think most of us Arsenal fans can agree that he hasn't hit the heights that we expected. But his 2026 record can't be denied. He's scored a lot of goals and assists altogether, about 24. He's got 21 goals in all competitions, and a large chunk of them have come since the turn of the year. Now, I feel like we saw the best of what he can potentially do. This guy is limited, right? I don't think he's of the technical level. I think it's plain to see that. But his strengths are areas that I don't believe we've also played to. And I think a lot of that has to do with his relationship with the players around him that need to feed him the ball. Tactically, it's been difficult to find him at times. And I think maybe, the drop-off in form from Saka and then his unavailability, and the fact that in general it's a fairly low-scoring league, from what I feel. There hasn't been loads of goals this season in many games. We're leading the league title right now. Man City are breathing down our necks, and neither have been playing like scintillating football all season. So for me, he's coming into form at just the right time, and I think him playing a key role in qualifying Sweden for the World Cup is going to kick him on as well.
Yeah,
he was in the press conference, and a lot of things were asked about him, and I was watching his demeanor more than listening to what he was saying. He was kind of very calm, kind of not really like getting carried away with anything, giving kind of fairly affable answers to things. You get a sense of what kind of character this guy is, and I feel like he's somebody who's really driven, and he's got like a burning desire to prove himself, but he's also realizing that he can't just do it on his own. He needs to be part of a team to make it happen. Yeah. I think he's been very selfless. He could have easily got frustrated and just decided to try do it all by himself, get the ball and just start running around like a madman. But he's been really disciplined. He's been giving himself to the team as much as he possibly can. And I hope that the 2 goals and the assist for Saka is just the start of what we're going to see in terms of a strong end of the season for him. 5 games to go. He's in form. Of all the players that we've got in our squad, we talk about somebody who can score goals. We need somebody to find the back of the net. His first goal is exactly what I want from our striker. Somebody to come in and put the finishing touch to our moves. And he did that in that first goal. And the nice reverse pass into Saka, to have the vision to hold the ball up, play it in nicely into his path was great. And then to get on the end of that Trossard cross, wonderful. So for me, he starts tomorrow, 100%. There's no doubt. Havertz gives us a different dimension. He can offer us a different way of approaching. I feel like Simeone is going to present us a tactical challenge. So we have to be able to be tacticos ourselves and deploy different strategies to give Simeone something to think about. He's coming to the carpet, he's coming to our back garden, he's coming to our house, as the players say. So we got to be able to mix up and give him something to think about. And as for Starboy, I'd say this is probably his best performance since Madrid. I'd say since the game against Madrid, this is probably the best performance I've seen from him. He's had a really up and down injury ravaged season. As he's come back from injury, I don't think he's been very well. Hasn't really played very well, honestly. I think the drips and drabs he's had here and there have just been to help give him sharpness and fitness. He got his 45 minutes and he looked really, really good out there. He looked like he could have probably continued to play, but I think it was smart to take him off because, if we need somebody to provide us an X factor, he's the most likely to provide it. And if there's one player in our team that deserves to provide us a win, it's this guy as well, because he's been on the journey with us. He's brought us from nowhere to somewhere. He's been the reason why we're in the conversation because of his quality throughout that whole period where we've gone from 8th place, 5th place, 4th place, 2nd place. He's been a standout player in that whole journey. When everyone else has been up and down, he's been like that, getting better and better. If there's one player that I want to see lift a trophy more than anyone, it's this guy, because he really does deserve it. And it's encouraging. I feel like Saturday was the perfect result, the perfect opportunity to rotate. Simeone rotated all 11 boys, all 11, right? Gives you a sense of where his head's at. They still managed to get a win, but he rotated everyone. We had to rotate some, right? The ones that we could. We couldn't put a whole different 11 out like he could. So it was a perfect opportunity to give him the minutes, to wrap him up in cotton wool, make sure that he's sharp, niggle free, because we always seem to have players with niggles, and it seems to be a reoccurring issue at the end of this, towards the tail end of the season. Odegaard not even being in the squad is a real surprise to me. He'd only just come back, so where have you disappeared to? So for me, I'm just very glad. I'm very, very glad for Saka. I'm very, very glad for Odegaard and Gyokeres, because these are players that at the beginning of the season, you would say, if they can find a way to click, we're going to march this league title. And so far, they haven't really done that collectively, but separately they have in fits and starts.
It's been a case of the defense got us to where we are, and the attack have kind of done bits and starts, in certain points. Certain individual has done some bits, but as a collective, they've not operated at the same level as the defense at all season long. So you just hope that, look, if you can just put it in for these next 4, 5, hopefully 5 games, then all will be forgiven. What's your thoughts on just, because Neil, we've both had spent a lot of time talking about Saka and just how things maybe off the field has sort of affected him, as well as the injuries, the contract maybe, the weight around his neck with that possibly. Do you think this is a return to him? His form. Was it? Could we have been keeping him back all this time just to make sure we were ready for this running now, or do you just think he just wants to be the man, like Devin said, to be the man to get us over the line? Obviously with the captain's armband on, depending on how Odegaard is going to decide whether he's fit or not.
In the dream world, I like to think it's a masterstroke. He's been deliberately playing the way he has, and then just at the last minute, when we need us to peak, he's saying, right, now you're going to see the real me, and bang, and just shock Pep, thinking that Pep's going to get away with the treble, and he ain't. Because the Premiership is definitely ours, and the Champions League probably is ours as well. So see you later, mate. But no, I think there could potentially be a combination of factors. We are not privy to what is going on inside players' heads and basically their lives in general. We don't know. We can only presume. We can only guess. I think there's no coincidence that it was after the contract the forms changed. It's no coincidence that when Gyokeres turned up, there seemed to be, for me, some tension between the two of them. It was very notable in that time when Gyokeres was quite upset that he wasn't given the ball by Saka, and then when that one he scored himself, he didn't even allow Saka to celebrate with him. So there was something not right in the air. The injury, I don't like using. I know we are cursed with injuries. I think abnormally so. I think we've got to be one of the most unlucky teams in so many years where we just suffer key injury after key injury. But I don't always like to use that and it's an excuse. If you're not fully fit, you shouldn't really be on the bench. You know, we're Arsenal Football Club. We have to have the elite on there at any one time, and we have got the depth in the squad now to be able to do that. I don't think I would like to say it's an injury. I do understand that certain injuries do take a long time to recover from, and maybe now we're going to see the best of him. I like to say that we are going to see the Fulham Saka now for the rest of the season. I don't think we have any choice but to see the Fulham Saka for the rest of the season, because what he showed is what basically is the jigsaw for this attack to work. And if now any differences have been ironed out, if there were any between him and Gyokeres, and they are going to click together, then I think we've got a devastating forward lineup. I actually thought, you know, before we forget to mention, we must give Trossard credit because he was outstanding as well. Now you got to remember, Saka was off at half time, but Trossard and Gyokeres played pretty much the whole game, and Trossard was consistently good throughout the game, including the second half where we completely took a foot off the gas. We were able to do that. We don't want to risk any injuries or anything stupid like that. But even then, he came up with some great pieces of work. So let's not forget Trossard. I think if Martinelli can step up, I've got a feeling Martinelli might start tomorrow. And if he can step up, because he's been better in the Champions League, because I think he's given more space and time, which suits his game more. If he's there with Gyokeres and Saka starting, I think, you know, we could put the game to bed before half time if things go away. And we beat them 4-0 before. I'm not going to use that as a benchmark because we looked at that same scenario last year, where we beat PSG, was it? And then we lost to them. Mm-hmm. So look, I'm not going to use that, but it puts us in a better stead anyway.
Yeah.
That, you know, we've beaten you early in the season at our manner, so you're the ones that should be afraid. We're going to unveil the largest tifo in our history, get the fans going. You know, I think that is so important. I think what the fans did on the weekend, being that 12th man, they have to now replicate for the remaining 5 games this season. They have to make so much noise and make it so unbearable for any remaining games we've got at home. And I will do my job tomorrow, I promise. So I will have a word to win.
I'll be there.
There you go. There you go. Devin, we'll do it. We've got this. We've got this, lads. We've got this. So I think that is an important factor too. But I would like to see just this Saka do his thing. You know, do it with the captain's armband around him, because I think he has gone missing. He has been completely missing. As I said, we don't know exactly what it is. When we shouldn't be presumptuous to assume it is this or it is that. It could be a combination of things. He's got to put that behind him, and he's got to say, right, I carried you for 4 or 5 seasons. I'm back, and I'm going to carry you now for 4 or 5 games. So this is what we want to see. I think he can do it, and I think he will.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. It felt good. You know, he came off at half time. I don't know. It looked like he was knackered. I was a bit kind of concerned seeing him the way he was walking off. But let's hope that you know, he comes back and leads us over the line. Before I come to you, Steve, let's just go to the chat. Thanks for everyone that's in there. And obviously, Brian, thank you. Perfect game for Myles. Sorry to show his ability. All the things you want your midfield to do: break up play, play single passes, and play on the front foot and forward. Yeah, absolutely. James in the chat. How you doing, James? I'll tell you, it's epitome of necessity is the mother of all invention. Yeah, yeah, spot on. Spot on. And yeah, Brian agrees. And the thing with Myles is willing to take a risk, particularly when going forward. You need a ball carrier to commit opposition, and he does that. And yeah, and also Eze did that. And obviously, I'm sure you've seen the clips of Jamie Redknapp showing Arteta telling Eze to calm down when he's just about to release Gyokeres, and that's the thing all season. You know, just release him, play forward, play on the front foot, and I think that's what we need now to get over the line. Brian said all about the service for Gyokeres was involved in all 3 goals. His goals came from good delivery in and around the penalty box, and the assist was running down the channel. Yeah, and I said, and James would definitely say numbers. The attack will produce numbers. Obviously, Trossard got his assist, Saka got his goal and assist, and Gyokeres got his goal and assist. So that's what it's all about, you know. James is back, largest tifo history. I just want 7. I saw this off with Simone. Oh, yeah. Yeah, less said about that guy, the better. And shout outs to Calafiori as well. As I think I can't remember who said it earlier. Just he's so lucky with getting goals disallowed, but again he was outstanding. I thought in the first half. Worries, Noni Madueke, the levels you can see. If you ever wanted clearly to see the levels of what our right hand side is with Saka operating at that level, and Noni Madueke as well operating at his. You saw it on Saturday, and it is kind of worrying. And again, Gabriel Jesus. I mean, I don't know what that performance was. James has often said to us in chats that Jesus was born offside. Because I don't know how you can come on and you can be offside so many times. That's James's line. It cracks me up every time, and I'm sure he'll mention it as well. Just ridiculous. And you kind of hope Gyokeres stays fit, because I think it's going to be all on his shoulders. But this guy, what do we say? The best ability is availability, and a bar a couple of weeks. The guy's been there every time we've needed him. So yeah, let's. What we're feeling now. Obviously, City are winning, but obviously, is everyone feeling that if we win our remaining 3, the title's ours? Can you see City dropping any points anywhere? What do you think?
For me, this is where City do the business. This is what they are known for. So I don't think that it's nailed on for us by any means. I don't think that it's. I don't think they're favourites to win the league whatsoever right now. They're winning right now. Donnarumma's made a huge save from Ndai right now. There's still 67 minutes on the clock. Something could change in the next 20 odd minutes. But City are that team that find a way to make a difference at this stage in the season. This is where they find form, and I honestly think that we. By losing the way in the manner we did in the League Cup, and then losing to Bournemouth, and then against them, we've eroded away any advantage that we had, and now they probably feel like they've got the know-how to get it over the line. And I say that, commentators curse. Everton have just fucking equalised, boys.
You're joking?
I'm not joking. They've just equalised.
I'm gonna do Arteta and Arteta. I'm gonna do that. Yeah, like Steve's doing.
I think it might be offside.
Oh, offside. Probably.
It might be offside.
Who's the ref? Michael Oliver. So I'm sure they're going to find something wrong with it and disallow it.
It was a back pass. I don't know. I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah. Give us a live commentary, Steve. I was going to come to you. What were you thinking? What are you thinking after that bomber from Devin?
I don't know. I have to pick up from that. I'm going to quickly go back to a couple of quick.
It has been given. 1-1.
Yeah.
Come on. Oh my God.
I'm going to just pick up on a couple of players first. Okay. Noni Madueke is chaos. Okay.
Yeah.
And chaos can be a good thing sometimes when you play in that position, because it makes the defending team not sure what he's going to do. The majority of the time it's chaos. It doesn't always look great, and that's the thing. You go, what's he doing? Like sometimes you go, oh, it's so frustrating, but it's chaos. It's needed chaos. Like it's frustrating at times, but it's needed chaos. With Saka, and even I know people have said that he's not had his greatest season, but by his standards and whatever, and blah blah blah, it's pure aura. That guy said from when that documentary came out, and it was, I want to be that guy. I'm going to be that guy. He has been that guy.
Yeah.
With every player, every professional athlete, there are certain times when your form dips, and it's got nothing to do with anything. It's just you can't maintain it.
Yeah.
And the reason why the top coaches manage those sort of players better and it comes with experience. Like you look at Sir Alex, when you look at his Man United squad, and you go, oh, Rooney's just not looking so good, and then all of a sudden he's out of the squad for a few weeks, and then he's back on the bench, and then he's coming on, and then it's realizing when somebody needs a break, somebody needs to take a time out and recoup. Saka has needed that. We've all said it, Mike, on this show. We've all said it.
Yeah,
we're 5-0 up. Why didn't he take Saka off? Why is he playing the full 90 minutes for? It's just going. We don't need to. Now we've got the chaos on that side, and like I said, Noni will frustrate me as much as he will excite me. But we've got it with the partnership with Gyokeres. I think a lot of that is not having a good pre-season with him, and then going. I've played without a striker for how long? Okay, I played with Havertz. I played with Jesus. They're not your out and out strikers. So you're not used to those balls. You're not used to putting in those sort of balls for those sort of players.
Yeah.
And Gyokeres' frustration at the beginning of the season is, guys, put it there. Whereas they're going, but we don't usually do that, because when we've got those other guys there, we usually do this, and that's how they score. And it's, like I said, it's a learning thing that takes time, and it's unfortunate that all the players have had injuries at certain times because they've not been able to. Come on! They've not been able to. What is it? 2?
Yeah, on the ball.
Everton.
Yes.
Right.
Come on.
Is it 2-1?
Sorry.
Okay.
Everton is winning 2-1.
Hang on. Are you watching 2 different games, or what's going on?
Winning 2-1, man.
Okay, I'm going with what Neil said. Just wrap it up. That sort of, without having so many injuries, that sort of partnership for players, you can't build that up when everybody's in and out. You need that settled and consistency. As you said, consistency is the best availability. I'm gonna do my very best.
Sorry, Steve. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right. I'm gonna do my cameo. There's a goal. What's that? I don't know, Mike. What's that?
Oh dear. I'm going to try and concentrate for the rest of the.
Like,
really apologize.
Subscribe to this, because this is going to go round and around. So people like and subscribe. This is the bit that's going to.
Mr. Hart on Match of the Day was dissing Rooney for saying they're going to drop points, dissing him with his stupid face.
Joe Hart.
They're going to win everything. Yeah. Well,
someone needs to, if they lose.
Let's see.
If they lose, if they lose, I need to check on Joe Hart after this, because again, if you saw the way that guy was, his lip was trembling and everything when he was talking to Rooney on when Rooney basically said, he thinks Arsenal will win the league, and Joe Hart literally just got all in his feelings, man. He was so like. When someone talks without taking a breath, and he was just, and this, he just was like so sort of emotionally fragile at that moment, just because Rooney said he thinks Arsenal are going to win the league. It was amazing to see. Brian's on.
But Mike, that's the narrative, isn't it? That's like how people talk about things and they manifest it. Okay, so everybody goes, oh, City at this end of the season just always do it. So it feeds into like the pundits say it, fans say it, the players amongst themselves will say it. Yeah, this is our bit of the season, and then the teams that they're facing will go, yeah, this is City's bit of the season. This is where they just turn it on. So we just got to try not to get beat because this is City going through. But then at the same time, I think every person has pretty much said at some point this season as well, yeah, this isn't that same City side, is it?
No,
they're going to drop points, and we all thought that they were going to drop more points than they have done up to this point. But at the moment they're losing, so they could drop more points, and then we're looking a bit more comfortable. But we've all said it's not the City side of before. So we're, at the end of the day, look, let's move forward to. Like I said, we can't really concentrate on them because it's about us, isn't it? Like it's Arsenal above all. So
yeah.
We're looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if we're looking forward to it, I'm going to say that we will see Zubimendi back in. Gyokeres will definitely start for me. I think he has to. Saka's, like I said, just pure aura. If I was to say he was anybody, he would be like a like a Goku, just like going Super Saiyan without actually having to go. He's ultra instinct. It's ultra instinct. He's not actually having to do much. It just looks like in slow motion. You're just like, oh, that's what Saka does. That's literally what he does. It's just pure aura. And defenders don't know what to do with it. And he just does his bits. And I've always loved that guy. So yeah, our star boy, put some respect in his name for all those.
Saka is inevitable, like Iron Robin on the left. You know.
Yeah, you can't stop
it. You always knew what he was going to do. You always knew on his left foot he's going to cut in. He's going to cut in. Everyone knew it. He's on the right hand side. He's going to cut in, and no one could stop it happening.
No.
Saka is best. He's been doing it.
Even Saka's goal, right? Even Saka's goal is such a clever finish. Like, do you know what I mean? It was such a smart finish, because usually, like, you got to remember, he's not actually on form at this point. Like, before this game, he's not on form or anything, and we've gone. Oh, he's missed some chances. He's maybe taken a chance where he should have squared it or something. And it's a smart, confident finish. It's low into the goalkeeper's near side. He couldn't really go across the goalkeeper, and it's just smart. For me, it shows his intelligence of just how good he actually is. And yeah, he's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, great stuff, man. Thank you, Steve. Just going to go into the chat. Yeah, I was James. When Jesus was born, the midwife had to check far. He was absolutely outrageous. Brian said, I think Nolly at times plays like his life depends on it and needs to manage games. Yeah, sometimes he always plays like he plays on vibes as well. You know, it's almost like he's just winging it and just sees what comes off. And the parallel, the difference between him and Saka is kind of scary. You can just see the levels in the decision making. Really, it's a decision making. The Saka, he makes the right decision literally every time he gets the ball. Whereas Madueke, he crosses when he should either pass or shoot, and he passes or shoots when he should cross. Or I've never seen a player make the wrong decision or as many times on the pitch as him, which is just insane for a professional.
I do like the fact that he's using his right foot a bit more. Like he had that hanging back post cross for Nkapie against Atletico, and I thought that was a really nice move to see him actually just take the ball on the outside and use his right foot rather than always becoming predictable on his left. And he did the similar kind of cross in the second half against Fulham as well. So I feel like, I feel like he's learning as well. But again, this is a player who, end product's always been the question mark with this guy. And for a player who's supposedly lacking end product, he's actually produced quite a lot of key moments for us this season. So despite the fact that he's maybe not as consistent as we want with his end product, he's still managed to provide us quite a lot of key moments when he's had to. He scored some big goals in the Champions League. He scored from a corner, and his delivery from corners has been very, very good on that right-hand side when you typically rely upon Saka to deliver the ball. So I feel like, yeah, you're right. Again, another player who's got his limitations has definitely improved. No doubt about it. But what he has brought to the table, even though at times his end product could be better, what he has brought to the table for us has actually been a difference maker. Because imagine a season where we don't have Madueke and Saka has been out this much. What are we doing? We're playing Martinelli out there, Jesus out there. That's what the alternatives most likely would have been.
I think he's been one of the most exciting and enterprising forwards we've had with the absence of Saka. When he runs up to the byline and the way he can manage to get some of the crosses. And Michael, I hear you. Me and you talk a lot, and I hear what you're saying. But he has added that kind of, like what Steve says, that chaos factor. And sometimes the defenders just don't know what's going on with him. And he is fast. He is quick. When he wants to be, he can be strong, and he can keep the ball. My only problem with him, he's got that kind of Pepe in him as well, where there is a predictability. When Pepe used to try and do the same sort of stuff on that right wing, I feel that sometimes he's falling into that trap. But hopefully he'll improve. And we've got to remember, it's his first season. There's probably a lot of expectation on his head because he's come from Chelsea. He was ridiculed by even our own fans when he was signed. Mm-hmm. And I think there's been that added pressure on him. I still feel that, all of that as a professional, when you're getting paid so much money, you've got to rise above all of it. But, at the end of the day, they're all human beings as well. So I feel that hopefully there'll be more to come from him. And he is a useful squad player, I think. Because, you're right, who would we have? Jesus or Martinelli? We would have been in a little bit more trouble, I think, if we didn't have that. And there have been times where he's played brilliantly, Stephen. Yeah. Huh? 3-1.
No way.
I said that I won't be worrying about what happens with Man City, so I'll retract that.
God. Oh my God. Oh my
God. Boys.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
It's all over, Joe Hart.
3-1. Sorry, seriously, 3-1.
Yes.
3-1. 80 minutes played.
No, it's 3-2. It's 3-2 now.
Is it?
Bloody Haaland's got one back. It's 3-2.
Oh, is he?
I'm on a delay, clearly.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's still 10 minutes.
As you notice, Mike, I'm not in my usual room. I'm not. There's
Yeah.
Oh my God! Right from the kickoff, he scored right from the kickoff.
Direct.
No, but he just got put through.
Okay.
Yeah, just used his strength and.
Let's see what happens.
But they're still ahead. Let's see
what happens. But let's quickly finish on the Atletico game, what we think is going to happen. We just have predicted lineups. We just go through it quickly. This is the lineups. Oops, it's always not Arsenal against Arsenal, is it? It's Atletico. Where are we? Let's get into this. Change that. So obviously got the Arsenal side on the Arsenal team on the other side. On the left, that's the team that played at the weekend. And we've got Atletico side that played against us in the first leg. We'll just get the lineup that we had here. So what are we thinking? Are we thinking it's pretty much going to be the same bar Madueke for Saka? Or are we thinking, is he going to actually keep Myles in? And obviously Eze for Odegaard. What are we thinking, guys?
It's a difficult one because I think Saka starts most definitely. I think the question mark definitely goes to whether Odegaard or Eze come in and whether Martinelli or Trossard start. For me, I think those are probably the question marks. The rest of the team picks itself. Mendy and Rice, the back four, and Capia comes in. I don't know whether Timber's going to be able to make it. I don't know if anyone on this pod knows what's wrong with Timber and why he's been out so long. But it's a bit concerning. I can't remember the last time he played for us. It's been a while, So I'm just wondering if Timber's somehow going to make a magical appearance. That'd be amazing. If not, White starts. But for me, the question marks remain around Martinelli or Trossard on the left, Eze or Odegaard in the right 8 position. Everyone else picks itself for me, honestly.
So this, or you going with this? Would you, or would it be Zubimendi? You think it will be?
I've always had a soft spot for Martinelli. So, and especially with his record in the Champions League, pace. I'd personally go with Martinelli just for the fact that it's fully rested. You want to really sort of raring to go. Martinelli out there bringing bags of energy, and as long as he hasn't got an injury, I reckon that's probably what we'll get. But
would that be Ben White? Sorry, would that be Ben White as right back as well, or would you put Mosquera?
Yeah, I don't know if anyone knows about what's going on with Trossard, what kind of injury it is, but yeah, I'll go with Ben White just because there's no information on Timber that's been given out at all, other than the fact that he's just not available for whatever reason.
What are you thinking, Steve?
Martinelli, Gyokeres, and Saka. I think Martinelli and Saka, there are boys in it, so they will start. One has pace and one has smarts, if you know what I mean. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking there. It's going to surprise people, but I think Odegaard has to start. I think I think what he does, and I get it, but what he does is, if Zubimendi starts with Rice, Odegaard picks the ball up off the back four, and he brings it forward. Eze doesn't do that. Eze's more dangerous in that more attacking third, if you know what I mean. Odegaard, just for me, it's been like I said, it's been glaringly obvious in recent weeks when he hasn't been there, and you've gone, yeah, why who's picking up the ball? Why isn't nobody, like, why are we always like, and people trying to blame Zubimendi and blah blah blah, because when Odegaard is there, that's what Odegaard does. He picks up the ball from the back line and then he carries it forward and he plays those passes. He doesn't, unfortunately, I think a midfield, I think we'll see, we might not see it this season, but a midfield of Odegaard, Skelly and Rice will be an absolutely phenomenal midfield three because the balance is there. But for this game, I think Odegaard will start. He's our captain, and he will start.
I just think with Odegaard, with Odegaard, especially in the second half in Madrid, he was just getting the ball too deep again. And I think when Eze came on, he was getting the ball a lot more higher up, and it caused him a lot of problems. He was a great 20 minutes when he come on. Eze, he was causing lots of problems. And I just think that's, and Odegaard got taken off really quickly because I think if you've got Zubimendi there and Rice, you don't really need him to be there to go be that deep. And Arteta's mentioned it in his press conference. He says he goes very deep to get the ball. He doesn't necessarily want him to be there to get that. I can understand if you're under some sort of pressure, but if you're dominating, you should kind of be a bit further up to try and force the issue a little bit. But no, I could see him playing the same lineup as he did in Madrid, bar obviously bar the Saka coming in for Madueke and pretty much going the same. What do you think? What do you think, Neil? Do you think?
Just briefly, I know White's had a couple of stinkers in the past couple of games. Like there was even in the last game, I was like, no, what's my guy doing? But he's still Ben White. Like, do you know what I mean? I mean that in the sense that he starts above Mosquera, if you know what I mean. I love Mosquera and he's going to be fantastic for us, and he has been fantastic for us. Again, it's these moments where you're going, okay, for 60 to 70 minutes, you want Ben White in there. And then for those last 20 minutes, you're going to want Mosquera in there because he's going to bring that pace and that strength.
Yeah.
When they're pushing on and Ben White might be fading a little bit, you've got. I think that's where it works out.
Yeah, what do you think, Neil? You obviously, I know you would love to see Martinelli at centre forward. Maybe not at the moment with Gyokeres doing what he's doing, but would you go with that as well with the same lineup, or would you want to put Eze in there to kind of force the issue a little bit? He got
the graphic again. Sorry.
Yeah, sure. Let me bring that up.
Okay, thanks. I would rather see. I think Martinelli will play because I think otherwise Trossard would have come off earlier. I think he stayed to pretty much the whole game. So I think Martinelli's definitely going to be there. I think it's the right decision. As I said earlier, I think he's fared better in the Champions League. So that's the good decision. Gyokeres speaks for itself. Saka speaks for itself. Odegaard, Eze. I think if White is going to play, as Stephen has just said, I think it might be better with Odegaard because if they can rekindle that triangle, Odegaard, Saka and White can do that kind of stuff down that wing, that could be useful. But I do also have a big kind of want and desire for Eze to play as well because I think he's useful too. So it's a coin toss for me between Odegaard and Eze. But if Odegaard is playing, I think I'd like to see White rather than Mosquera initially anyway. Other than that, I don't really see anything else that needs to change. Calafiori didn't do badly at all on the weekend, but I think it will be Hincapié because I think he's more assured as a defender for me. And when he's been playing at that position, he's been so assured and so good. So I think for the sake of it being a semi-final in one of the biggest club football tournaments in the world, I think we got to stick with Hincapié. I've just seen what James has written there.
Yeah.
He's going for Eze.
He
is going for Eze actually. Yeah. So I think Eze, if it's Mosquera, I think Odegaard if it's White, simply because of what they've done in the past and how they've linked up the trio. I'm not saying they'll replicate it, but I'm saying there is that familiarity there. So that's my what I think.
Yeah, I think whatever we do, we should have. I think we should have enough for them, especially if we go at them with the same attitude and same energy. I think yourself and Neil and Devin are going to be there and bringing the noise. It could be a massive, obviously, Tifo, as you mentioned as well before. It's an historic, could be an historic week, especially with what's happening.
From an Atletico standpoint, there was a lot of talk about this Sorloth guy that was in the squad but didn't really feature, and that he's going to be key. Do you guys know much about him? Is he a forward? What is he?
Forward.
Who's Sorloth?
Yeah, the Sorloth.
He used to play for Palace, and he didn't really do that well there. He's a bit of a old-fashioned centre forward, like target man, a bit like Gyokeres almost.
Okay.
And plays well with Alvarez off of him, so it's like the big man, little big man sort of thing. Yeah. He didn't. I don't know if he's carrying a knock or he was injured, but obviously he didn't feature at the weekend. I mean, nobody did, but yeah, he's a bit of a big unit. So I think obviously the only way you probably see him is if they're chasing and obviously they need to get something. But you're hopeful that Gabriel, the way that he played against Raul Jimenez at the weekend, I thought he played him superbly. Just didn't give him any change at all. And
Saliba, please give him a mention.
Oh, we have to talk about Saliba.
Saliba's been ridiculous. He's been so
high.
He literally has been, even with the results that we've had, the last 6 weeks, he's been like literally 7 out of 10 at least for those games. He's been at a level. Whereas you've seen Gabriel fluster, kicking the ball out of play, throw-ins, necessary throw-ins and necessary turnovers. You've not had that from Saliba. He's just been, the guy deserves to. I just want us to win something major because I just want to see his guy celebrations because
we're winning 2 majors. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I just want to see the guy celebrate. On the parade on the bus. I think they're going to need to strap him to the top deck because he's going to be doing some abseiling madness. Bus surfing thing, hanging off and trying to high five everyone he can see. The guy is an amazing. He's operating at such a level, and this is what we want. The big guys have to come in and get us over the line. Hopefully Saka will follow his lead. Declan Rice has been doing that. He's picked up the last couple of games as well, playing in the 6. I think we said it in a show a couple of just play. I'm sure he'll be happy not having to run around as much as he has, but been as a left 8, he'll just happily play there alongside Gabriel and Saliba, and he's having, he looks like a different player.
See, the thing is, Mike, just very briefly, because Rice isn't a left footer, he's playing that left 8 with a right foot. Yeah. If it was, just do that, but on the right hand side, then it's a bit different. If you know what I mean, we might see a better Rice on that. Like if it was a right 8 instead of a left 8, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But that's why when it came to the weekend with Lewis-Skelly playing on that side, Rice went back into the 6, and it just, like I said, the balance was right.
Yeah.
That the actual balance was right, and I think, like I said, we might not get the chance to see it again this season, but I think next season we'll see a lot in pre-season, especially as people like Zubimendi and that will go to the World Cup, and Lewis-Skelly will get an opportunity to stake a claim, and if he's playing well, and I believe he will. We don't have to rush Zubimendi back from the World Cup. We don't have to rush Rice back from the World Cup because we've got players like that can be there, and we know that we're comfortable. So, like I said, I think with Rice on that left 8, I think it's just a balance thing. That's why I don't think it's that great for him, if you know what I mean. If he was a right 8, then it works, but then you need that left 6. So yeah, we'll see.
I was going to round the show up. I just wanted to check how much time has Michael Oliver allowed. He's given them 20 minutes.
6 minutes, but it feels like it's been going on forever. And
he's been given them 20 minutes. How long's left?
Wait, they've got corner. Wait. Oh, Domarami's gone on. Oh my God. Oh.
How long's left?
We got it clear. Well, the 6 minutes is up, but they're going to
Right.
allow another.
We've got to stay. We've got to stay on now until we.
Okay.
Yeah, let's stay on. Let's stay on. Right, let's stay on. Let's stay on.
This could be historic. This could be the night when it.
This
They're
could be the moment.
They're going to keep them going until they score. You just watch. This is bollocks. They're on the attack again.
They're not going to score, guys.
They're on the attack again, and it's another corner.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Right, you know, again, like, share, subscribe. Click this bit again, Mike. I'm doing it. They're not going to score. Ever going to win 3-2. I'm going to get my mate Darren. I'm going to go down to Birmingham and buy him a drink.
Oh, the big man's going up again for the corner.
We're going to just be very, very happy that we've got away with.
They've recycled the ball. Oh,
no.
My God. He scored.
Yeah.
Doku scored.
Are you joking? It's what? 3-3?
Yeah, 3-3. And he's doing that.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's 3-3. It's 3-3. It's in our hands.
Okay. That's,
Oh, look at the Man City fans going mad as if they've won the title. They call us.
that's still good. That's still good. We just needed them to drop
They drop
points
points.
in one of the games.
It's in our hands.
Yeah, that's if they blow now. That's it. I was saying there's no way they're going to Everton are going to win tonight, but a point is a brilliant result for us because
It's still good. It's still good in the context of the fact that they've still got a game in hand.
It's a great goal, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's a great goal.
That's the thing. It's, right now, it's in our hands. We win our 3 games, and we're definitely champions.
Yeah, 100%. And City, there's City shipping 3 goals against Everton. This great City side that everyone's saying that they get to this mode and they switch on and they, we've kept a couple of clean sheets and don't look like we're letting anything go. And
they're still letting them play on to win. Look at this is great. Good one, ref. He's blown it. 3-3.
Okay. Yeah, we take that.
Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. Well done, Everton.
Start of the evening, you would have said absolutely. Everton, well played, man. Everton, well played.
I'm off to the confectionery store to get my toffees and have a good stew.
No, thank you so much, guys, for a brilliant chat. We'll be
sorry
back.
about the excitement, Michael. I really am sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. No, it's been great stuff. Great comedy. I kind of thought, if it did turn, we might be live when it's going on. So it was a great little bit of history we've seen there. It could be the night. This could be the night, gents.
Come on.
This could be the turning point. This could be it.
Come on,
you watch everyone dress it up. Oh, great fighting spirit that they've come back and whatever and this and that. But no, actually, no, it's out of your hands now. And,
don't forget, they were winning that game. Like before they start saying, like however they try and spin it, they were winning that game. They then went 3-1 behind.
Yeah.
And then they were lucky to come back with 3-2. 6 minutes were up and they were still playing. So it's fine, isn't it? Like whatever. They've dropped points. They could still drop points against teams like Bournemouth.
I think they will. I think I think it's a guarantee.
It's in our hands. So right now we win our 3 games and we're champions.
Yeah, we win our 3 games. We're champions. That's it.
Yeah, Pickford to say he's kicking off. Great. Yeah, I'm glad someone's done that to him because I can't stand that. He comes on
3-1-0.
It's like he runs everything. But fingers crossed. Yeah, I think they're going to drop points against Bournemouth 100%. Whether it's a draw again or actually Bournemouth beating them.
But what I'm saying is, what's important about today's result now? We don't have to worry about scoring loads of goals anymore. We can just win 3-1-0.
Yeah.
We're champions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
come on, lad.
It's a very, very good point.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the goal difference has not been impacted very much at all by this. So
Steve, it's happening. We got it. We've done it, son. How long have we been saying it? How long?
Wow. Gents, thank you so much.
Right, just one other thing. Just goes back to Saturday's atmosphere. I've said it a few times in this show and in chats and whatever else and blah, blah, blah. It's total support this season, okay? It's total support, full support. When the team's playing badly, it's full support. When players are having a bad game, it's full support. Yes, we can come out and we can say, look, we expect them to do better and stuff like that. But what I like about this channel is everybody is full support. It's full support no matter what. We're in a position where we're very privileged to be in a position where we can hopefully bring home the title. It's 3 games, it's 3 games. But we've put ourselves in a position and it's full support. Like I said, the way the fans were on Saturdays, how I expect them to be for remaining home games. It's what the players need. That will get us that title and hopefully push us into the Champions League as well, into the
Fingers
final.
crossed.
There.
Fingers crossed.
Stephen, I'm off to celebrate. See you later, guys.
Fingers crossed.
He's gone.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. We'll be back tomorrow night for a quick recap on the semi-final second leg. Hopefully, it's a glorious one, and we can be looking ahead to
Go on, Devin. Make sure you
historic day in Hungary.
Oh, mate.
Devin.
It's gonna be. I'm gonna be deafening everyone around me tomorrow night. It's going off.
We're doing it. We're doing it.
Devin, thank you so much for your time tonight, man. Brilliant stuff. Thank you so much. Great to have. We'll have you back on again very soon. Neil, the most dangerous Arsenal fan alive, the Arsenal Jason Bourne, the Arsenal John Wick. He is. You can see. Look, he had all the intel. He's got the little satellite radar because he saw the results coming in before they actually happened, before anybody else. So again, this is why this guy's off the grid, and he is who he is. Neil, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time tonight.
So much.
Steve, thank you so much for your time, man. I know you've had it rough for the last couple of weeks, man. But thank you for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and
love to you and yours. Thanks for everyone in the chat. Really appreciate the time that you spent with us tonight. While keeping an eye,
very, very busy. Well done.
Yeah, while keeping an eye on the results, and thank you for that. Really appreciate it. We're buzzing. We're absolutely buzzing. This will be the night. It's in our hands. Yeah. We can't even think about that yet. It's looking too far ahead.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
What are you doing, man? You can't be putting comments like that in there, man. No. It's too early for that. But we're buzzing. But thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Have a brilliant rest of the week, and we'll see you tomorrow night for hopefully a little bit more history. Come on, you Gunners!
Come on, boy!
Newcastle, the central figure again, and he looks to trick.